These are the most delicious grilled pork ribs you've ever had. They're juicy, they're tender, and they're super flavorful.
Big thanks to Napoleon Grills for sponsoring this episode.
Yes, I know you had a lot of ribs and you think you had the best one yet. At least up there. But you'll be the judge of if these are the best pork ribs in the world. Grilled pork ribs. Let me know in the comments after you've seen the whole video. Just don't go down there yet, because I got a couple of surprises up my sleeve that is probably going to change your mind in about now and 10 minutes. All right, to start off with, I don't have regular pork ribs. I got a regular pork here. Look at how beautiful it is. Absolutely freaking gorgeous. But this is not the best part. The best part is what sits inside this pork. Look at the amount of intramuscular fat that sits inside this pork, which means it's going to be super flavorful, super tender when the fat renders down. It's going to be a win either way. Now, of course, this is a loin, and that means normally you get this part where the ribs sit as ribs, but I've chosen to take this part for my ribs today. And that is the loin part, and the loin part normally is a little bit, well, when you start cooking it, it becomes a little dry. That's all going to change, because I'm going to start by taking a knife and I'm going to open up that pork loin, working my way down into the loin, and when I'm almost there, I'm going to make a twist and go down again. Now I've got a huge surface of all meat, grainy, fatty meat. And normally you would just grill this, cook this, and then eat it up, and it's going to be fine. And we're going to start that way. Yes, I'm going to use a little bit of the PITMASTERX pork seasoning, and I'm going to season this just the way I would normally do it. Just sprinkle this on. There we go. And then flip it around, season the other side just the same. And this may be very easy, but the end result is so extremely good. I just need to take you on this journey of deliciousness. Now, I'm going to be cooking on the Napoleon grill. It's a gas grill. I already have all 4 burners running extremely hot. I'm going to tune it down a little bit. So, because I know the grill is hot and don't need that much energy anymore. Now it's time to take the rack and just put it on the grill. That's it. There we go. And now we're searing. We're on our way. It's just the first step in many. It's been about 3 minutes. Let's check to see where we're at. Whoa, look at the grill marks. Let's start searing the other side. I'm going to do the same thing. I just need a little bit of color on it. I need a first sear on it. This is starting to look good. I'm going to close the lid and let the meat warm up a little bit. It's a cold day out here. Normally I would just leave it open, sear it off, and just let it do its thing. The buildup of miljard effect is getting better and better. Now, let me just show you what I'm talking about. That brown searing that the grill is giving me, that is what I'm looking for. I don't want to burn any of the seasoning. I just wanted to caramelize on the outside, add more flavor to it. And then in the meantime, I just wanted to get, well, up to temperature. I don't need it to fully cook because pork is done at a core temperature of 65 degrees Celsius. After grilling it for about 8 minutes, it's time to take it off. Ooh, that looks good. Now the next step is a bit peculiar. I'm going to roll it back up again, fold it up, to get the original shape back. As a matter of fact, I'm even going to truss it up with some butcher's twine to make sure that it gets its original shape back. I'm going to use the easiest nut ever. In the Netherlands it's called the flat nut. The flat nut. There we go. First one done, and then I'm going to skip every other bone. So not this one, but the next one I'm going to put the twine. And while I'm trussing the meat, it is also resting. So that means all of the juices will flow back into its original position. It will continue to cook a little bit. And therefore, we will end up with a beautiful cooked pork. There we go, last one. On my sizzle zone, I put a heavy-duty cast iron pan with beef tallow that I'm currently melting down and getting up to temperature. That beef fat needs to be around 160 degrees Celsius, which I guess is around 360 degrees Fahrenheit. So while I wait for that, I'm going to make something that we're going to need later on. Namely, a honey chili oil mixture. I'm going to take half a tablespoon of chili oil. I make a lot of chili oils recipes. But honestly, this from a jar is so good. The flavor is insane. It will take about 3 tablespoons worth of honey. To make it even better, I'm going to add a teaspoon of Worcester sauce. But I don't want the real clarity. I just need a little bit of red texture to it. You'll see why that is later on. So I'm going to add a tablespoon of ketchup. Of course, I want a little bit of fruity flavor. So I'm also going to add a tablespoon of good quality apple juice. And this now needs to be mixed. And when you're like me, cooking outdoors, then I recommend putting it on a grill for a little bit just to warm up. Come on. Come on, honey. You can do it. Oh yeah. When you taste it as is now, it's going to be a little bit intense. Ooh. But once we apply it, it's super, super tasty. That is one juicy rack of pork. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to slice into it, creating beautiful pieces of pork. As you can see, it's not fully cooked yet. So that's going to happen in the next step. Now here it comes. We're going to take one of these and we'll go and put them in the beef tallow. Just let it slide in. Let it sink into a hot bath of beef tallow. It's like a jacuzzi for pork. Once they're looking good and nice and all browned up, crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, take them off, and then put them in the highest position in the barbecue, keep them nice and warm, and let that outside crispen up even further. Isn't that a beauty? The next one into the bath. For the final step in the process, I'm going to take my grilled pork, take some of that chili honey oil, and drizzle it on. Look at that. Isn't that the most perfect rib you've ever seen? It's grilled, it's fried, it has barbecue written all over it, and especially extra flavorful. Oh, look at that snap. Wow. Cooked to absolute perfection. All right, I'm going to take this one, bite into it. That is literally mouth-watering. So delicious. And so you see, grilled ribs can be anything you want. I'd love to hear what you think about these grilled ribs. If you would make them, if you would give them a try, or if you would say, really grilled ribs, whatever. As you can see, grilled ribs is whatever you make of it. I'd love to hear what you think of these grilled ribs. Pork rack is maybe one of the most underrated pieces of pork ever.